Hello and welcome. We're looking for $2 million homes around the country, and this time we're looking at North Dakota. Usually, you have to cultivate each state and find the little gems and the cool spots around, and sometimes limit the price because there's so many choices. But in North Dakota, you get what you get. And here we are. So, this is all there is in North Dakota for homes 1.5 to $2 million. And if you look at North Dakota, by the way, has about 760,000 people. So that's it. If you look at Wyoming, which has just under 600,000, they have a bigger selection. And then if you go to Montana, which has a little over 1 million people, there's a lot of homes for 1.5 to $2 million. So anyway, going back to North Dakota, here we are. Here's what you got. So starting out, this one is 4,000 square feet, and it's located, I'm just going to show you the whole state. So it's located there in North Dakota. So there you go. Next to, I don't know. The house interior, I like the wood. I like the ceilings. I like some of the stuff they did with it. It's different. It's more than they had to do. But this house overall, man, and it has this huge barn. I mean, just a huge barn that you could just play tennis or have baseball practice in. It's massive, and all that is impressive for all your farm equipment needs. But this is it. It's like the saddest $1.6 million house you'll ever see. I've reviewed in Kansas City. There's a former missile silo that looks more inviting than this. It's wow, that just looks like you're the last house on earth. So and in other states, stuff has sold quicker. So I've like done some research, and when I go back, all those whole houses are sold. This one hasn't sold in a long time. Anyway, next up. So this one is in Fargo, and it's nice. You're next to your neighbors though, and there's nothing inherently wrong with it. Fargo is on the eastern edge of North Dakota. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's just a big house. It's got your staircase, and they try to go to some glitz and glamour. The wood paneled executive room. The floors are done really nice. It's just weird seeing all this wood. Now everything the motive is to paint everything white, and it's weird just to see all this dark wood. But it just, I don't know, it's hard to say when a $1.6 million home is just and it was just moving on. This house, its special feature is in the location. So it's kind of in Bismarck, but if you zoom in, if here, we'll do this. It's connected. You have this little faux lake that you can get onto the Missouri River. So if you're into boating, you can go up and down the river. But otherwise, the house is a little bit, and it kind of looks weird because you're kind of next to your neighbors, but there's a lot of shoreline. So I don't know if the Missouri River here is a little tidal, that it goes up and comes down a bunch. But much lower, and it looks like you'd have trouble getting out to the river. So I'm just assuming that it's tidal, like the Hudson or something, and can go up and down some. But just not a super big fan of this. It just, again, was a little plain for a $1.7 million house, and then you're close to your neighbors, unless you really like the Missouri River, then. And that's a nice view. So right there, that room's not bad. So anyway, moving on. This one is located near Beulah, North Dakota, and it's kind of close to a big lake. And I actually like the dark, rich interior. Like I said, it's kind of different seeing that now. It wasn't a super fancy house, and it was at the high end, so 1.9 million. And I think what they were banking on is the land that you have access to this river here. So I don't know, that just wasn't enough to put it up higher. The following house, they called it the Colorado style, or call it the ranch and lodge style, and it's located the northwest part of North Dakota. And it was, there are certain rooms I liked, and the kitchen didn't look super deluxe. I don't know. I did like the bar area, and it had had an indoor hot tub, but I don't know. They just didn't really go in to the lodge aesthetic. It's like lodge meets subdivision kind of deal. So they kind of stepped into it, but they didn't go all the way. So that's kind of my little disappointment with that. This one was kind of really funky. I really like the lake it is on, and the thing I love about the house is that, you know, you have a nice, cool lake. You know, look really natural, and you know, you can do lots of fishing and boat play. And the coolest part is you can take your boat and go up to Canada. So you're that far north. You can throw rocks at Canada if you want. That just kind of cracked me up. The house itself, it was like almost 8,000 square feet, and you had a lot of you know, shoreline, so that was cool. And they keep showing that off, but they keep hiding the inside. The inside just looks like I would need to paint a lot of rooms. It just, and I didn't see a pool, or there just wasn't. They're really banking hard on it being on this river. So, and there wasn't even a, you know, a boat lift or anything. So I just seen it done better in other lakes and other places. But the idea of being able just to float up to Canada was pretty cool. Coming in, this is probably the first house, and again, they did one of these little deals where it's a little mini pond that feeds into the Missouri River. So I kind of like that idea of, you know, you could have access to, you know, just float around the Missouri River, and some of this stuff looked really neat. And let's see, and then, you know, you're right next to Bismarck, so hey, there you go. Costco is not far away. But that's kind of cool just to live in that. But it's a modern house. I think this one's made in 2016, so just a couple years ago. So not much to the land, but the house itself, I think the outside was all right. You know, I've seen lots better ones, and I like it fully covered, because in the winter, what's this gonna do ya? So I grill and I smoke all year round, so it'd be nice to have something covered. Another thing, it's like, again, the water level is low here, and I don't know if it's because the Missouri is tidal and it raises and lowers, but that just seems really low. Like it's one good drought away from not having a pond. Very modern aesthetic. I'm sure really modern for North Dakota, and all that was clean, and I had no problem with any of that. The appliance. Oh, and I do like the little cubby holes. That's always nice. So I mean, so overall, not bad, but just not really spectacular either. Not really hitting it for me. I mean, it looked nice, but it could be a little bit more. So last but not least, this is in Fargo, North Dakota, a little subdivision. So if you did want to have neighbors, this one wouldn't be bad. I guess they haven't been there. This was like 2013 they made this one, so Google Maps hasn't been back there in a long time to update. So Fargo, I didn't know this, but it's on the eastern border of North Dakota, and it's like 3.5 hours to Minneapolis, so you're not too far, you know, from a big city. And the house itself, it's not really assuming in that, you know, so it doesn't totally look like a $1.5 million house, but it's got a deep pool for a dive well. It's got a hot tub. It's got a large basketball court. It's not marked, so it's a little points off for that. But it's got an in-ground trampoline, which is just fun. And I really like all the way they did all that. So you have a lot of entertainment there. It could be covered, would be nice, and an outdoor covered cooking area. It's got a 3 seasons room. they said they have washer and dryers on both floors, which is really nice. That kind of looks like a fire station. I don't know. I kind of like it though. It you know, a 4-bay garage. I like the flooring. The wood is darker again than the modern aesthetic, but I like it. I'm trying to get to the kitchen. There we go. So the kitchen, you know, it would be taking a chance nowadays if you did this, but I like the dark wood, and I like the backsplash, and that, you know, you kind of take a chance because people could really not like that and just not pick the whole house because of that. But you got the connected areas with all the dining, and this was open, and I could just see going there, and this could be either your permanent house or your visitation house when you're in North Dakota. So it was very nice, and it had a lower bar area too, and it had this kind of cool theater area. The people could sit up in the back and talk or watch the movie, and then you had this area of all these fancy theater seats. So it was definitely a nice setup, and a dance studio, which kind of cracked me up. There's no bar, but that was a fun little feature. So there we go. So I hope you enjoyed North Dakota. That's what you have. And so have a great day or evening, no matter where you are, and take care.